Felipe Massa now comes in to serve out that drive-through penalty. Whoa, with a bit of oversteer. Be careful, slow down, don't exceed the speed limit. 80 clicks per hour through, and there he goes. But for young Kimi Räikkönen, he's got a huge future ahead of him. You're not going to do it in one or two races, but just build and build and build. Now, we know David Coulthard's race pace and race skills are legendary, and there we see Felipe Massa just come in ahead of Sato, so he's come back in 15th place, which will be hugely disappointing. Now he's going to find a way ahead of Montoya.
I think there's a possibility that Massa did break the speed limit in the pits, John. They're investigating another incident with car number 8, so we'll have to bring you more news on that in a moment.
Yeah, but coming into the pit lane, he came in very quickly. He did get the back end of the car out.
Oh no, he got done for crossing the white line on the pit exit. It wasn't the speed, it was crossing the white line.
Well, he was trying to get back in very quickly. We saw him cut in as Takuma Sato came around, and he wanted to get into the track, onto the track, and not run around the dirty outside line. Let's look again and see. There's the white line. Well, that's similar to Ralf Schumacher 1 year ago at the Nürburgring, and the reason he did it, if Sato was coming, he would have had to run around the perimeter of the corner, pick up a lot of the drop off the rubber of the tyres. Didn't choose to do it. Well, he's going to have to lose even more time now, and just impatience on the part of the young Brazilian. And you are meant to learn, even though you're a young and tender 21-year-old.
Well, that'll be a wake-up call to team managers and engineers in the pit lane, John, to tell their drivers perhaps when they make their pit stops, be careful, because it is fairly natural on a curve like that, isn't it, to try and cut in a little earlier perhaps than where that white line ends.
Yes, and the reason that drivers will want to do it is because as you go through, you can see the rubber build up already on the outside of the Estoril corner, and if you're having to follow the exit, here he comes through again, as you're following the line of the pit lane exit to its natural conclusion, it would naturally lead you on to the beginning of where those little sort of balls of rubber would be beginning to build up, and you get those on your tyres, which are warm, all nice and sticky, and they will just once again give you that momentary, or maybe even as long as a lap, to get the tyre cleaned up. Now watch as he goes out of the pit. Well, we didn't quite see how he exited that time on screen. This time, hopefully, he did it correctly.
Yes, hopefully he'll have stayed over the white line, not crossing it as he came out. Remember, Massa...
I suspect what they might do is bring in... No, I don't know, I'm confused of which one they're going to do.
Montoya's just coming through the chicane up before the last corner. Michael Schumacher should rejoin in front, and Ferrari have done it again. Here comes Michael Schumacher.
Well, it's going to be a close call. It's a close call as they come into Estoril. Schumacher, he clipped the white line. Now, did he go over it? He certainly clipped it as he came out of that pit lane.
So we'll keep an eye on that, but he's out in front of the Williams of Juan Pablo Montoya, and once again they've done it. Schumacher's fast lap before the pit stop, absolutely crucial. Stages. Let's take a look at the replay of the rejoining here of Michael Schumacher.
Again, Michael, you can just see on the replay, unfortunately obscures it, but he did clip the white line.
Here's the view,
here we see, now watch, here we see, he's clipping it, he went over it, he went over the white line in the very same way that Ferrari picked it up on Williams last year. That will be a protest. There you can see what's going on the pit wall. In my opinion, Michael Schumacher crossed the white line before he exited the pit lane.
We shall see. There's no sign of any investigation by the stewards going on at the moment from our monitors, so we'll wait and see.
Ben, if they're not observing it, Williams will clearly have observed it, as will McLaren, and they will certainly be sending faxes to race director to ask them to review the tape of Michael Schumacher's pit lane exit. He clearly went over the white line before the exit of the pit lane into the circuit.
Out of the race, Montoya's tyres seemed to take a bit of time to come in there. Well, that didn't go over the line.
He didn't go over the line. He did clip it, but he didn't go over it. Now, whether the rule says you mustn't touch it or you mustn't go over it, I need to get the rule book out and have a quick look.
Chalk dust definitely on that one. I reckon he was in on that one. We're going to have line judges at this rate in Grand Prix racing. But Kimi Räikkönen come in, and again you can see the car sliding around, and the stewards are investigating that incident, John. It's come up on our screens. They are investigating Michael Schumacher crossing that line.
And there's no doubt that they will have to say that was a penalty. In the case of David Coulthard, Coulthard did clip the white line, but you're allowed to do that. But what Michael Schumacher did is he went over the white line a good 3-4 meters before the end of the pit lane, and that precedent has already been established by Ferrari themselves at the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, wherever it was anyway, because Ralf Schumacher went across the white line on the pit lane exit Flynn leading the race, getting back out on track, and Williams had to serve a pit lane penalty. 10 seconds at the stop go for Ralf Schumacher 1 year ago.
That's right, John. So really they have no choice but to accept it if they're given a penalty. It's still under investigation at the moment. We'll let you know as soon as we do whether they will impose the penalty. This could well be the battle for the lead then between Montoya and Raikkonen once Schumacher, if he has to make a drive through.
Well, if there's any question or doubt about it, the steward should look at F1 Digital Plus, because we've seen it. Ross has seen it on the screen on the pit wall. He knows that Michael Schumacher made a misjudgment, too keen to get out on the track quickly, went across the line, and well, if there is no penalty, there will be uproar in the pit lane from the Williams team and the McLaren team.
So but this
look at it again, but here we're seeing it again. Watch the right front, here it comes, over the line, there, clearly at the end of the pit lane, his right front is well. Look at the Williams team, aren't they happy campers? Yes!
A mistake from Michael Schumacher. They don't happen very often nowadays, and when they do, everyone else has to take advantage of them. Into the pit.
Drive-through penalty for car number 1, crossing white line at pit exit. Michael Schumacher, your time is up. Come in, serve your penalty, and hand the lead of this race, and potentially the position of Raikkonen, who will be number 2, and even your own brother marginally will be number. In fact, he could drop down to 5th place. Michael Schumacher leading this race on lap 34. By the time he starts lap 35, at best will come out in 5th place.
Well, it's going to make a great race of it, though, with the pace that Michael Schumacher is showing. He is blisteringly fast. He's up to nearly a second a lap faster than the Williams of Juan Pablo Montoya, but he will have to come through the pit lane, and that's going to really make things wide open. You're looking at Jensen race out of it. Here comes Michael, and let's see whether Schumacher will come in this time around, will he? Yes, he does. So Michael now will make his drive-through penalty. It is lap number 34. As Schumacher crosses the line, that's in fact 35 laps completed, and Juan Pablo Montoya will retake the lead of this Grand Prix ahead of Raikkonen.
The field is going to stream past as you see Michael Schumacher exit the pit lane. One Williams, one McLaren. Where will Michael Schumacher? I think he's going to come back in 4th place. He's managed to split Ralf and Coulthard.
That's very impressive as he comes back out. There is Montoya. In fact, he's come out in 3rd place, John. He's in 3rd, behind Raikkonen. So how much has that changed things? Now he's got to do all the work again, but Michael Schumacher can still win this race despite the drive-through penalty.
Well, that would...
And whether they can get him out in decent position.
Well, 2 seconds roughly, maybe just over 2 seconds quicker than we saw from Pablo Montoya. And that will please Ralf Schumacher. And Pablo Montoya, we watch to see
there is
as the
Montoya.
cars come through. Montoya's gone through, so he's regained, or he's not lost, I should say, position to teammate. Now Ralf clipped that as well. I would like to see a replay of that. Ralf Schumacher, he clipped the line, and I'm not sure his right front wheel, in fact, didn't get over the white line before he exited the pits.
Well, he's been done for that before. That's a famous incident we were talking about. So let's hope that he's kept it clean. He's certainly very close behind Montoya, isn't he? As
here
they
we
rejoin.
go. Now let's watch and see.
Montoya
goes through, and watch Ralf Schumacher. Watch. I think, yes, he did the same as his brother.
Does look like it, I have to say. It does look like that right front went over the line, and it looks as though they know it inside that Williams pit. The Michelin engineer saying, yep, just by a few inches. I think he did. And Ralf Schumacher, therefore, will have to serve out his own drive-through penalty, and that's going to hurt Williams. Second stop yet, remember.
Watch Ralf Schumacher, we're seeing it again. This is the reason why he just gets that right front. He rides the curve. There it is. It is now. He's got a full wheel over that white line before he got to the exit.
It could almost be the Schumacher line out of the pits, John. It was almost a direct repeat of the Ferrari of Michael, and Ralf surely will be penalised for that. Into the pit.
So less, he'll be in the pits as we wait for a Ralf Schumacher.
Confirmation of his penalty there, John, just to confirm that he has got that drive-through. What a frustrating afternoon for Ralf, but his own mistake, and I would think the team would have prepared him for that. Michael had already been done for it. This was the discussion down there in the Williams pit.
Yeah, the Michelin engineers, they just say they saw it, we saw it, and sorry Ralf, it's not our fault. You're the guy that put your wheel over the line, just like your brother did.
Yeah. He joined, so there's a healthy gap from Schumacher's point of view.
And look at the amount of space he left coming out of the pit lane. A good 3 feet almost clear.
Drive-through penalty then for Ralf Schumacher. And out he comes once again, and we'll see where he manages to rejoin, coming in behind De La Rosa.
Oh, he did it again. I think he was very, very close. That right front wheel, now that was the camera looking forward on board. I would like to see that again, because he clearly had the full wheel on that white line. So this will be the...
It's a good quick stop, 7.7 seconds. He's going to be right with them, John, as he comes back out.
So we watch to see where second and third are. Raikkonen, here they come. No, it's not good enough. David Coulthard will not regain the lead. He will rejoin in third place, because Ralf Schumacher, I think, yes, is too far behind. David, be careful, you clip that curb. That was very, very close.
I'm not sure if he went over it or just on it.
Well, it was just like Ralf Schumacher's second exit. Same kind of thing. It's questionable as to whether the front wheel clipped or was actually over the last part of that line. So there's the battle.
McLaren's. And we're just taking a look at the replay here, John, as he comes out.
Let's have a look and see. Coulthard, he turned the wheel. He certainly got half the front wheel over the white line.
Ron Dennis crossed arms. What does that mean?
That means, whoo, I think he got away with that one. No, that was very close.
I don't think he's that confident. He doesn't look so bullish, does he?
No, but I think Ralf Schumacher's last exit was very similar to that. And we're not seeing anything coming from the stewards.
Well, on that occasion, the McLaren was set up for great straight line speed. This was a replay of Ron Dennis watching that replay.
Yes, he's got away with it, he said. He did it. He had half the wheel over, but he didn't have the whole wheel over. And it has to be the whole wheel. But, you know, interpretation of the rules can be arbitrary. There's enough latitude in it, I think, for people to look at it time and again. But I think he may have been able to get away with it, where Michael Schumacher and Ralf were clearly a full wheel was over that white line.
Look at this, Coulthard really putting the pressure on Michael Schumacher. Though they are investigating it, though, John. Look, Stewart's investigating.
I still think it is a close call. I mean, we have seen it. We need to see it in slightly more detail. The stewards will have that opportunity. I think, David, maybe it's not as clear cut. Here's the replay. Now look, you can see, oh, he had it. Oh, well, I think that's true. I think he may be in trouble for that. I think that Coulthard in the last 4 or 5 feet had a full wheel over the white line. I think Ron Dennis, I think they've just seen that. I think they realise that Coulthard now will also be involved in coming through for a drive-through penalty, and that will mean that he should be okay. Montoya, well, I think he'll probably get back out in third place, but of course lose contact with this battle for the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and he's looking so strong. Upset.
Well, it's happened. David Coulthard has been adjudged to have gone across. So for David Coulthard, that will be a massive disappointment. A chance to make it a McLaren 1-2 this afternoon has now gone, but he's still got enough time to get back out, get onto the podium, because Pablo Montoya is some 20.2 seconds behind Coulthard. Coulthard can run on another couple of laps, as we saw Michael Schumacher do after the warning and the notice of the penalty being served. And the team, McLaren, will take full advantage of that period, that 2-3 lap period in which you are required to come in.
Great shame, because a fantastic dice here between Coulthard and Schumacher, potentially at least in the last 10 laps, will now of course be destroyed, but it's the rule for everyone, and Michael himself has already been hit by that rule. It wouldn't make much sense if Coulthard was to get away with it. Montoya really struggled.
He's got a grip problem, and there is little he can do. Coulthard comes in. Now he's got a 21.5 second advantage over Juan Pablo Montoya. He will come through the pit lane, get back on track, and still be in third place, but of course losing contact for Michael Schumacher.
Now watch that white line on the exit this time, David. You don't want to have to do it again, and I'm sure he'll be watching it closely. Watch his line here.
Yes.
Yeah, keeps it out wide, and no problems as he comes back.
And had he done that the first time, he could have made it a McLaren 1-2 on the podium now, rather than a 1-3 as it looks it's going to be.
Still, what an achievement.